So guys, it looks like war is upon us. So when I first opened up this book, I saw there was a huge 200-page chapter called The Last Battle, and I assumed that is where we were going to have all of the war. But no, it has well and truly begun, and we're deep into it on many different fronts. I just reached chapter 28. I haven't begun that chapter yet, just about to jump into considerations. And first thing I want to talk about that I've been reading is Mat's storyline. So we become aware that Mat is going to lead the Seanchan army, as long as Galgan doesn't try and do anything to take it from him. We do get a fantastic scene, and this scene is very Sanderson. Not that I've read any other of Sanderson's works, but it seems very different from what Jordan would write, less subtle and more fun. And it's something that can't be described as anything other than a pissing contest between Rand and Mat. They're both in the presence of Tuon. Rand has given himself up, and they're essentially comparing everything that they've done so far. Now, I believe that both of them have a lot to come as well, but when they start listing their accomplishments, it's fantastic. Now, obviously, Rand wins, in my opinion, but I do think that Mat had the more exciting adventures, mainly because he hasn't had the weight of the world on his shoulders while he's been doing it. But yeah, there's no argument that Rand has achieved more and also will go on to achieve more. But I mean, how fun is that? Just two boys back in their childhood state arguing about who's done more. You love to see it. But how is that storyline going to proceed forwards? The frustrating thing is that something has to change with the Seanchan. I talk about it every time. The Daman thing, the leashing, it's not cool. Like, that has to change somehow. And all the ingredients are there. So we have Leowen / Egwene telling Egwene everything about the Seanchan. So I'm sure Egwene will think of some kind of plan. We already know the Soldam can channel, and it just seems like for the peace to be kept, that needs to come out. So all the ingredients are there. I just don't know how that's going to be sorted out. But I have a sneaky suspicion that Tuon doesn't survive the final book for some reason. So you heard it here first. That's going to be my big prediction for that storyline. I just got a feel, I've got an inkling that she doesn't survive this book. Now, is that because Galgan is actually a dark friend? Is that because Egwene releases some wrath upon her or some other Aes Sedai do? I don't know, because she has some thick plot armor with Mat being there, but I just feel like she's such a cool character. She is so powerful, yet she presents such a big block to a fantastic ending, or a fair ending. It could be a fantastic ending either way. A fair ending where leashing is finished would be for her to not be Empress anymore, and for someone to come in who doesn't believe in that, or prove that the Soul Dam can channel as well, and therefore leashing, the whole concept is insane. I don't know, that was just an inkling that I had. One thing I am excited for is the Seanchan to go to war for us. We got a glimpse of that when they fought against the Shido, but everything we know about the Seanchan is they're just efficient. They're effective. They take the best of what's around them and they just utilize that to win. So I am fired up, and I really feel like Egwene's battlefield is already going wrong massively, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. And some of the other ones aren't looking too hot either. So this Seanchan arrival is really going to be, it's really going to be Gandalf riding in on the dawn of the fifth day, look to the east kind of thing, I believe. And with Mat at the head of that, it's going to be awesome. So we have several battlegrounds. I'm going to talk about Lan and Lan-gelmar first. So before this, the crown for the most impressive feat with a sword or a regular weapon, I believe, had to go to Gawain, because he defeated 3 of those Seanchan assassins powered by terangrials. And even though he was about to die, he did win. He fought that battle and he beat 3 of them. However, and I might be forgetting some impressive feats with the sword previously, and I'm almost certain I am. However, Lan definitely takes the crown. He battles 2 Fades simultaneously, defeats them both cleanly, quickly, and doesn't take a single bit of damage. Surely that is the most impressive feat we've seen with the sword so far. Hats off, the golden crane flies. One thing that is really impressive is these great captains. They are all extremely capable, but we are seeing some mistakes. Is that Grendel's fault? I don't know. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But that front, Lan and Lan-gelmar, they are being pushed back. They are destroying a lot of Trollocs, but it doesn't look like it's going to last forever. Then we jump across to Ituralde and Avinda's battlefront, and obviously Rand was kind of involved in that as well. First thing we see is Avinda and the rest of the channelers join up, and 13 of them link up in a circle. And it got me thinking, I think we already know that we can put more than 13 people in a circle, but what if you got 13 circles and linked? Is there a way to like link those together? Where does it end? These are the kind of answers that we definitely need, especially seeing as it's the final battle. Is that something that can be done? And while we're talking about feats of magic and feats of power, the Windfinders, they have the Bowl of Winds. I do believe that something magical is going to come out of that for sure. Now, I know they're battling off the Dark Ones, like whether that he's creating, but surely they could create something super aggressive with that Bowl of Winds. Surely they could whip up the biggest storm to battle their enemies, or a blizzard, or heat, or I don't know, you name it. Any weather can be deadly in large amounts or to its extreme. So I'd love to see what the Windfinders can do, because I've been a bit disappointed in the Sea Folk. They've been just difficult to deal with and just frustrating the whole time. Then we jump to Egwene, Gareth Bryne, and Gawain. And this battlefield is having the most ebbs and flows by a long way. First, we see Gareth Bryne using a gateway high above the enemy to look down. And finally, we get some uses for gateways that are not just the simple and basic stuff. I always think that overall, the level of intuitiveness and inventiveness with the weaves, we haven't seen a huge amount. Like, our heroes have really rediscovered and recreated all of the cool magic that's been discovered in the story that we've been reading in that period of time. I just feel like the level of innovation is really small. But we see the Aes Sedai enter the fray for the first time, and this is really the first time we see Aes Sedai go all-out attack mode, and it is beautiful. They're so efficient, they're so effective, and they completely batter the enemy into submission. However, I do believe that that scene was used as a juxtaposition to what was coming straight after that. We see the Sharans, which are the people from across the Blight and across the Waste. We get a brief mention of them from Jane Farstrider, because he's been there, of course, Jane the Adventurer. And they reappear, and they absolutely kick butt. They have Demodred at the head, and it seems like Demodred has kind of set himself up as like a false dragon for the Sharans, and he's running them. He seems dead set, ravenous, single-minded on battling Rand the dragon one-on-one. So we'll see what happens with Demodred. I don't know if Rand is going to have the ability to face so many of the Forsaken one-on-one. Surely someone else needs to step up and step in and do this. And because of his treatment of Lyanne, and obviously killing the rest of the Aes Sedai, surely either the Seanchan, who are going to come and save Egwene, or Egwene herself is going to battle Demodred into the ground. That's what I'm looking for. It also appears that Demodred is using either fear, manipulation, or more likely compulsion on these Sharans. I doubt that they're evil people. I doubt that they all believe they should be fighting on the side of the shadow. Like, even if you have a false dragon, once he pulls you and he's done all these lies, all this manipulation, once he brings you to the final battle and you realize you're fighting on the same team as Trollocs, you're probably going to be like, are we the bad guys? And you're going to probably come to the conclusion, yes, 100%. And therefore, you'll probably swap sides. So I would guess there's a high level of compulsion involved. So once you can remove Demodred, maybe we can get the Sharans on our side, which would be a fantastic switch. So they take a massive L, and it looks like Egwene and Gawain are stuck behind enemy lines. But then Gawain activates the ring. So one of the 3 rings he has. And it got me thinking, can he activate all 3? Could you imagine how powerful you would be if you activated all 3 of them? I don't know if you would instantly die. I don't have enough information. But I feel like it has been said, once you activate at least one of them, you are guaranteed to die. You only have X amount of time. So we're going to see probably some kind of heroic deed from Gawain. And possibly Gawain is the person who kills Demodred because he manages to sneak up on him whilst Egwene is losing a battle to him, or something along those lines. He's clearly going to save Egwene's life, but I believe that means the end of Gawain, unless we get Nynaeve there to lift the, the curse of the Terangrial. We have a few people who are powerful with Terangrials, actually. Obviously, you have Elaine, who can create them, and Gawain is her brother, so maybe she can step in there somehow. And then we also have Nynaeve, who's just fantastic at healing. But I would like to see Gawain go beast mode and put on all 3 rings. That would be crazy. During that kind of period of time, we also get Leolwyn saving Egwene's life as well. So a lot happens. Leolwyn kind of releases herself from her shame, and it's going to be really interesting. What I think from that storyline we're going to get is the Seanchan sweep in, and then some kind of unity between the Aes Sedai and the Seanchan battling the Sharans. Hopefully we get the end of Demodred, Gawain, potential death, and can you get any more exciting than that? I don't know. Let's get it. Then we hop across to Elaine and Bashir's battlefront, and we get a beautiful, it could almost be a poem, scene of the Ogiers destroying Trollocs. And when you see something gentle and studious and regal turn into absolute killing machines, it definitely gives you chills and goosebumps to read. On a side note, I think it's 100% certain that Loial writes the Wheel of Time. And I predicted this a long time ago when we first met, maybe not when we first met Loial, but once it became apparent he was going to document Rand's life. Because one of the only things we haven't seen was the Great Stump. Now, why would we not see the Great Stump in the books? Like, we've had perspective chapters from Loial's perspective before. So if something big like the Great Stump was happening, it would make sense that it would be in the book, right? But maybe Loial is protecting his people's secrets. So I think the fact the Great Stump isn't in there really points towards Loial writing the Wheel of Time and documenting it. But also he's just writing books. It's like the link is clear. It's quite obvious, I think, anyway, hopefully, because I'm going, pretty hard on this prediction. We get the first, in the timeline, this is the first time a general gets outwitted as well. Bashir, they go around the side, a lot of the Trollocs do, and they try to pincer Bashir and Elaine, and that actually happens before Egwene's, slight defeat and big disaster over there as well. So we are seeing a lot of, a couple of mistakes from these great captains, but it's the last battle. What are you going to expect? So this battle actually looked like it was going to be concluded the quickest. We had focused a lot of our forces here, but now it's looking a bit risky. The dragons have been fantastic. I believe, obviously, we need a win here. We need them to win and win convincingly. So let's go Elaine and Bashir. Onto Rand, onto our star, onto our hero. So Moiraine is even more right and wise and correct than she ever was. How is that? I'm starting to think maybe she got some answers from the Finn, or she's seen something. Like, she's so true to the dragon prophecy. It's crazy. But it's so good to have her back. I am super interested to know what her gifts from the Finn are. And I think in the moment of doom, we're going to see them. Maybe she saves Rand's life or does something else. But are we going to get a Moiraine and Lanfear confrontation again? That would be really interesting. But I don't know. Lanfear seems like a changed person. More about her in a little bit. In fact, more on Lanfear right now, because Lanfear is completely humbled by Rand. Rand really lets her know, or Lews Therin lets her know, that she really doesn't mean anything to him anymore. And I think that really sucks a lot of emotion out of Lanfear. She realizes that it was all for now and it's time to make some changes. So I believe her. I know Perrin doesn't, and it's wise not to believe her, but I believe that she may turn coat. So we get a beautiful reconnection of Rand and the Void, and that comes through, of course, his wise, sturdy, and strong father, Tam. Tam is such a wholesome character, so good for Rand, and they basically spar, and it's two, not so much masters in Rand's sense, but Tam definitely, going at it, and really it's like a father-son thing. And it's actually it's not a father-son thing, sorry. He says it's a master and apprentice thing, or a master and student thing. And it was just beautiful. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, him reconnecting with the Void is going to be so useful. He's going to remember that when he's battling somebody during this last battle. And on Rand's plan, his plan is to kill the Dark One. I was certain he wasn't able to kill the Dark One. I just thought it was like just a hopeful idea. But now that Moiraine says that he can't kill the Dark One and is certain on it, I feel like he can. I just feel like whenever anyone, but especially Aes Sedai, tell Rand he can't do something that's impossible, I'm always on Rand's side. I'm like, yes, he can do it. I think killing the Dark One, I don't know. Like, Rand mentions that Lews Therin, there was a moment in time that him and the Dark One battled before where he thought it was possible. So, obviously, I'm not privy to those memories right now. Maybe it was in the intro of the first book. I'd have to go back and read that. And that is something I'm excited to go back and read as soon as I finish this series, is that introduction for that first book. But yeah, I just don't know if he's going to kill the Dark One. I'm not sure. It's literally 50-50. It would be cool if he did, but if there's a different solution, amazing as well. And then when I finish reading where I'm at, we leave Rand and he's about to duel a furious Moradin. And Rand decides to bring with him Nynaeve, and he also decides to bring with him Moiraine. Are we going to get a feat of incredible healing from Nynaeve? Are we going to see Moiraine's gifts? I think yes to both. He also brings Tom Merrilin and then like leaves him on the top of the mountain, and he's just going to like compose a ballad, I think, which is so Tom Merrilin. It's like the coolest thing in the world. Everyone's stressing, everyone's struggling. He's just going to compose the greatest story of all time. Maybe he tells the story of the Wheel of Time via song. No, I think it would definitely be loyal. But that's a cool idea as well. I'm sure I'd love to sit in a tavern and listen to Tom Merrilin play his tunes and maybe have a drink with him as well. And we hear what can only be the creator. He says, "It is time, let the task be undertaken." And Rand mentions that he hears this voice previously, and I believe it's when he was about to battle Agenor in the end of the first book, maybe? Or maybe it was Bowserman, I can't remember. But the creator spoke, so can the creator be somebody? Can the creator be physical, is what I talked about in the last book? I don't know. But one of the most exciting things about this final book is the opportunity to meet the Dark One. The Dark One is essentially a god. He is either yin or he is yang. Like, he's one of them. And I'm a bit nervous to meet him. Like, is there going to be any personality, or is he going to be is he going to have personality, or is he going to be more like just a force, like an idea, like a power, like a sweeping wind? I don't know. Like, this person has essentially been the nemesis, and yeah, it's like meeting him. I'm almost nervous. I feel like I should I hope he signs something for me. No, but I don't know. I'm nervous to meet this Dark One. Hopefully he lives up to my ideas, and I don't even know what my ideas are. I almost feel like a fan, which is strange because he's obviously like super evil, but he's also the crux of the book, so of the whole series. So yeah. Then on to our boy Perrin, and we find out that Padan Fain killed Perrin's parents. And obviously that's horrible, but Padan Fain, what a character. Where is Padan Fain going to pop up? Is he going to kill the Dark One? Obviously not. Is he going to... he could do anything. He's such a wild card, such a great character. I don't think he's been used to his maximum. He almost gives me like Gollum vibes. Like, he's obsessed and just murderous, and you could easily see him falling into like a load of lava whilst trying to catch his dagger. Do you know what I mean? If his dagger fell in, I don't know. Padan Fain is such a good character. I wish we got more of him, but I just feel like we are going to get a fantastic end to him. I hope we get a justified and fantastic end to Padan Fain. He's such a good character that I could see him interrupting Rand and the Dark One's battle somehow. Like, he seems powerful in such a strange and weird and mysterious way that might be something that he could do. We also have Ghul inside of physically in Tel'aran'rhiod, and I believe Ghul is going to die, which is unfortunate, but there will be sacrifices made in this final battle. He's such a good character, but he's kind of there as Perrin's sidekick, so I feel like his death will spur Perrin to kill either Slayer, Padan Fain, I don't know, one of the other Forsaken. And we're also getting a lot of Lanfear in Tel'aran'rhiod. She's helping Perrin out. Who does Lanfear hate? Is it Mazrim Taim? I think so. Or is it Moradin? Is it Hessamin, who was Grendel? I don't know, but like I said, she basically has changed sides now, it would seem, unless she's acting, which I don't think she is. There's no need for her to be acting now. She could have probably killed Perrin when she first saw him, because Perrin didn't even see her standing there. So, yeah, what's your game, Lanfear? And obviously, Rand doesn't love her in any way, shape, or form. He loves the 3 women he has now. I do wonder if we're going to see Elena. Elena? I think it's Elena. His first love, Luce Theron's love, like spat back out by the wheel. I don't know, maybe that would be a good distraction from the Dark One for Rand in a dire moment. Interesting idea. So, we get a lot of Grendel. Grendel is visiting the dreams of the great captains. Is there a chance that any of them are actually a Dark Friend and she's just speaking to them there? I hope not. One of them, maybe. I don't know who though. What's more likely is she's trying to keep them tired. She's trying to distract them. She's trying to mess them up, basically. And that's why we're seeing some mistakes from these great captains as well. So Grendel, she's really been responsible for a lot of people's deaths. Even the Chosen as well. So, you know, even though it felt like she had failed at the end of her storyline, because she definitely had, and it felt like she went out with a bit of a whimper, she's definitely probably been one of the most active Forsaken and aggressive Forsaken in terms of things done. So Perrin is in and out of Tel'aran'rhiod. He's there in the flesh, and we also see these like snake-like figures battling it out, which the only thing that are snake-like are one of the fin, right? So what does that mean? I have absolutely no idea, but it doesn't mean that we're like jumping forwards and backwards in time. Is the Finn's world connected to ours? Is ours to the Finn? Is it dimensions? I don't know. The answer could be literally anything, but that definitely caught my attention when it was mentioned. And Perrin's battles in Tel'aran'rhiod are beautiful. If I had to take a guess after like the first or second book as to who was going to be having the masterful battles in Tel'aran'rhiod and have mastered Tel'aran'rhiod really to a degree that none of our other main characters have been able to, Perrin would probably be at the bottom of my list. I would have said Nynaeve, Egwene, or Rand, realistically. But our boy Perrin, our simple lad from Two Rivers, is just doing me proud every single time we see him now. So what else? We have Andor winning. Mazrim Taim is banished, and Logain is now in charge. And we're going to see the Black Tower enter the fray as well, which is going to be righteous. Now, when Mazrim Taim was promoted to Forsaken, it was mentioned that he had like gotten something, or someone was like, you have them, or you did it. And now we know that the seals are gone. My guess is Mazrim Taim took those seals because Rand has had Asherman with him nearly at all times. Maybe one of them was privy to where the seals were, because he definitely wouldn't tell Mazrim Taim. But when one of them was turned, maybe, or it just makes sense that Mazrim Taim, like he's the only one who really has that opportunity to take them, I believe, anyway. Unless we have, no, it makes sense. I think Mazrim Taim took those seals. So, would they still be in the Black Tower? Because Mazrim Taim, he must have been hoarding some stuff, right? Is there any chance those seals are still in the Black Tower? Who knows? We'll find out. I could obviously be wrong with the Mazrim Taim thing, but based on my memory, it makes sense that he would have them. But these are the types of things that on a read-through, it's going to be so fun. The read-through value of this series must be incredible. Whenever I say read-through, I obviously actually mean reread, so I don't know why I'm saying read-through, but the read-through value was great as well. I'm having a fun time. But the reread value must be amazing because it must be so intricate. My second read is going to be great whenever that occurs. And we also get the liberation of the men at the Black Tower. And that liberation is beautiful. Like, it's really beautiful because the Black Tower initially is full of fear and full of worry for them becoming crazy and the taint. And then after that, it's dominated by Mazrim Taim. And it really has a very like fascist feel to it. It really has a very dictator feel to it. And and the liberation of it is like, it's like a breath, like a weight off your shoulders, because I can't imagine how much of a struggle it would have been to be an Asherman. You know you're going to die, you know you're probably going to go crazy, then the taint is lifted, and yet you're being turned, your leader becomes promoted to a Forsaken, and nobody trusts you either, like nobody likes you in the world. So, and your leader, the dragon, basically just abandons you. He lets you just become like whatever you feel like you need to. So I think poor form from Rand there, but it does allow the Black Tower to become like what it's going to be, hopefully, and what they decide to be, which is free men under Logain right now. But I'm sure they'll set something up, maybe not exactly the same as the White Tower, but similar to that, and their own democracy, so they don't have to be worshipping the idea of the dragon at all times. So end product good, but the way Rand handled it, 1 out of 10, probably. We also find out Agenor created the Trollocs. Maybe we knew that before. And we also find out Agenor created the Midril as well. So that's really interesting. I would love a story about all the things Agenor created. He probably did it in horrible ways by binding things together that shouldn't be there. But what an inventive dude. What else did he invent? Did he create the golems? That rings a bell. Maybe he did create the golems. We're lucky that he, was erased from the pattern pretty quickly. Otherwise, maybe we'd have had more horrific beasts made. So, what's next? We really only have the Seanchan to enter the fray, the Black Tower to enter the fray, and then revelations, battles, reunifications, loss, love, just so much to come, and I'm so fired up for it. If you're Rand and you're about to enter like the pit of doom and you're going in there to face the Dark One, you know it's going to be endless terrors. You have Moiraine with you, you have Nynaeve with you. If you could take one more person, let's say what they were doing out and about in the world didn't matter, you could take them from any battlefield and they wouldn't be missed. What's the one extra person you'd bring with you and why? Outside of that, please like and subscribe. I've really enjoyed this journey. I'm so excited to jump into the next part of this book. I'll see you next Sunday.